we begin with the first class on the living world. Now, what does this living world means? The living world means a world that is captured by all living organism. It starts from the microscopic unicellular organism to the giant mammoths, from the smallest organism to the largest organism, from the smallest plant to the hugest plant, from the smallest animal to the hugest animal. So this together constitute the living world. Now the question arises that what are the basic characteristics of the living world or the organisms residing in the living world. So the basic characteristics are, see this just a recap you have already done. First comes growth, reproduction, feeding, response to stimuli and metabolism. These are the few basic, okay, these are the very basic identifying characteristics that will denote or demarcate the difference between the living and the non-living. For example, if you come to grow, what is growth? Growth is basically increase in size, mass, number of cell. Okay, so this differentiate the living from the non-living. So growth, one thing that has to be mentioned, that certain non-living things, for example, if you immerse a crystal, it may also grow, but you cannot call that growth as a characteristic of the living organism, because crystal will grow from outside, but growth is always from inside as a characteristic of the living organism. Now the second point we come to is response to stimuli. Now what is response to stimuli? See, response to stimuli means it is actually the aware of the surrounding or conscious to the surrounding. For example, if you see a dog in the road, okay, the dog might ignore you, but if you go very close to it, at least it will look at you. That means what? It responds or it focuses to its surrounding, isn't it? For example, and if you just pick up a stone, it is simply going to run away. That means what? It is conscious of the surrounding. Okay, so that is response to stimuli is one of the very basic and identifying characters that defines the living from the non-living. Now next is reproduction. Now what is reproduction? The production of young ones or the same type. Okay, but for example, you see in company so many different same type of products are produced, but that is not reproduction or the characteristics of the living world. But see, certain animals may survive without reproduction. Okay, now without reproduction the organ can survive, so reproduction cannot be taken as a defining property of a living organism. For example, I'll clarify it again. For example, the organism may be living. It will survive even if does not reproduce. Okay, now another main criteria, we would be dealing into the very detail of it in the later part of the chapter, but it is known as metabolism. What is metabolism? You see, metabolism basically is a sum total of the reactions. See, sum totals of the reaction taking place in the organism. Okay, that means whatever reaction that is taking place, for example, your digestion, your assimilation, okay, these are all example of the metabolism. Whatever activity goes on in a living organism is known as metabolism. Now another, you see, it's just a short or a brief this thing, because we will be dealing it in the later part. For example, it has to be divided into two parts, that is the anabolism and the catabolism, that totals up to be a metabolism. Now what is anabolism? Anabolism is a chemical reaction. See, anabolism and catabolism both are chemical reactions that sum total to a metabolism. Now simple substances join together to form a complex substances. For example, photosynthesis. See, what are the simple substances? You see, carbon dioxide is a very simple molecule, water is a very simple molecule, isn't it? So they both join together in the presence of sunlight and they produce the photosynthesis product. What is the photosynthesis product? The complex molecule produced during photosynthesis is glucose. So glucose, carbon dioxide and water, these three are three different, where CO2 and H2 are simple molecule, but the outcome of photosynthesis is a very complex one. So this is known as anabolism. And what is catabolism? Another one term that is known as catabolism. Catabolism, basically it is a complex molecules that divide into simple substances. Okay, complex molecule is divided into simple sub. For example, respiration. Now for example is respiration. Now during respiration, it is just the breaking down of the glucose molecule into carbon dioxide and water. So again the end product is simple, whereas the starting product is not a simple molecule. Okay, now these things are basically the characteristics of the living world. Now I said earlier that in the living world we have got biodiversity. Now what is basically biodiversity? We have variety of flora and fauna in the living organism. So what is flora? The plant part. And what is fauna? The animal part. Now we have many innumerable kinds of animals, innumerable kinds of plants that constitute the living world. So living world is basically made up of flora and fauna. Okay, now these flora and fauna, they form the biodiversity, but these biodiversity again cannot thrive without the abiotic world. What is the abiotic world? The non-living part on which the living world goes to it. So non-living plus living gives you the ecological part of that. We'll come to it later. Now you see, if we are dealing with biodiversity and millions of flora and fauna, it is very difficult to remember their names and keep them in mind for the scientists. From the scientist point of view, we have 7 continents, and every continent is divided into different countries, and each country speak various languages. For example, if we take India, we have so many languages in it. But for example, if we take off a dog, in Hindi, dog is called in a certain name. In Bengali, the dog is called in a certain name. Isn't it? English, we call it a dog. So how does the scientist know that we are talking of dog, if so many various languages talk together? So that problem is solved by the nomenclature. Now what is nomenclature? Nomenclature is a system of naming and identifying organism that is known as the binomial system of nomenclature. What is binomial? See, you have done binomials in maths. That means you take two characters together. Here it is a method of two name formula. So this was basically given by Carolus Linnaeus, this nomenclature. So what are the two name formula? First is, when an organism, it is first demarcated by its generic name and its specific name. It has to be written in Latin. Okay, it is derived from the Latin word, because Latin is word that is internationally accepted language, and scientific discoveries are all done in this language. So it is taken from Latin. Now then, if it is printed, it has to be written in italics. Okay, and if it is written by hand, it should be underlined. The starting word should be in capital letter and the second word will be in the small letter. So this we would be dealing. And see, hierarchy of the living world, it is very important. We would be dealing it in our next class, this hierarchy, because this will give you the idea. You might say that, Miss, what is generic name, what is specific name, how do they come? So this answers would be solved in the hierarchy of the living organism. It is actually how the kingdoms has been divided from small to higher. Now here you see, here are certain words. Panthera tigris. See, Panthera, it is a scientific name of a tiger, and here you see Panthera, I have written it in capital, and tigris, the T is small letter. So this is how the scientific name should be written in the binomial system of nomenclature. So it is an example of tiger. Now another one, you see Mangifera indica. Again, M is capital and I is small, and this is a scientific name of a mango. Felis domestica. Now Felis domestica is the common cat. Again you see F is written in capital letter and D is written in small letter. Then another is Homo sapien. Homo sapien is modern man. So modern man means what? According to the geological time scale, what human forms originated, that is known as Homo sapien. Okay. Now another is Tamarindus indicus. Tamarindus indicus here. Tamarindus indicus, that is the example of tamarind. Tamarind is name. Tamarind means imli. Okay. And again Hibiscus rosa sinensis, it is an example of China rose. So these are the few basic. So I'll give you the detail and continue in my next class.